Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to the channel. Vanessa here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making how to make this leather crochet bag. This bag is very straightforward, easy to make, and I offer a lot of options in case you don't have some things in this video. So I urge that you watch the entire video from beginning to end without skipping any parts. And at the end of this video, I have clips of me posing with the bag. So without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. Now for all the materials that I used, you need 8 of these leather squares. You are going to need a leather zipper, just like this one. You're going to need this 4 back straps tags, 2 needles. I've got a darning needle, metal and plastic. I am using fleece yarn for this tutorial. That's how it looks. And for crochet hooks, 3.5 millimeters, and I ended up using a 5.5 millimeter in this video. And I've got 2 leather back straps, and you're going to need stitch markers and scissors. Now let's start with the squares. These are the measurements of my squares, but I will recommend that you get squares that are a tad bigger if you want the bag to be in bigger measurements than the one that I made. Okay, I'll put the entire measurements of everything at the end of the video or at the end of the tutorial, but my square measured about that measurement right there. It's not just, it's just nearly 3 inches. Okay, so I prefer that you have squares of about 4 inches. That will work perfectly. Right, so you're just going to start off by making a slip knot. I'm using my 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. Make a slip knot, and then we're going to start off at the corner. I'm just going to pull my hook through. Now you guys listen, okay? This is fleece yarn. You're probably not going to see the stitches. You're just going to rely on hopes, dreams, and the Holy Spirit to find out where the stitches are. Okay, so I've just pulled my yarn through just like so, and we are in a corner stitch. So I'm going to put, that was already 1 stitch that I made, so I'm going to add another stitch there to make it 2, and we're doing single crochets for this project. So those are 2 stitches in that corner of the square right there. I'm just going to go into the next hole, and then I am going to do like single crochet, and I'm carrying my yarn so that I don't have a lot to tuck in at the end. I'm just doing single crochet throughout all of the holes, you know. So if you don't have a 3.5 millimeter hook, just use any hook that you have that can fit into your squares. I'm going to give other options when it comes to like the squares in a bit. So when we go to the end, you're just going to put 3 single crochets into the corner. That's the 3rd one I'm putting right there, and that's just to turn, just because it's a corner. Then you're going to put 1 single crochet into every stitch. Then you carry on putting 1 single crochet into every hole, and then at the corner you do 3 single crochets. Now you see I lost my loop while I was crocheting. It took a while. This video is fast forwarded a bit. It took a while to find the loop again. If you know what it is to work with fur yarn, fleece yarn is even worse. Fleece yarn is worse. Okay, this is me at the corner. I've put my 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and 3 single crochets all in the same hole. Remember, whatever we're doing in every corner, you're putting 3 single crochets in that hole. So you're going to do single crochets into every hole right there until we reach nearly the end of the square. So here we are close to the end. Remember, we put 2 single crochets at the start. We're going to finish up by putting 1 last single crochet in there, and then we are going to slip stitch to join. Just slip stitch literally anywhere, because I can't tell you where the holes are or where the stitches are. I can't see it. I didn't see it, so you probably have to look for yours, because I don't know where it is. So this is the end of row 1. Slip stitch to join, and then you chain 1. Now if you've got a 4-inch square or a square bigger than mine, I'll say you do just 1 row. I think 1 row is perfect, but I wanted my bag to be a bit larger, and that made it a bit wobbly. Let me just say that if you want your bag to have a more structured shape, just do just 1 row of single crochet of the fleece yarn. Okay, so you don't need to use just fleece yarn. You can use fur yarn, you can use t-shirt yarn if you want. I just feel like regular yarn will be boring, so use, you know, other yarns. Okay, so when we get to the corner in row number 2, we're just going to find whatever the middle stitch that was there. Remember, we did 3 there, yeah? Okay, we're going to do 3 in the middle stitch. If you can find it, do 3 stitches, then you feel around for the other stitches. Like I said, is hope, dreams, and the Holy Spirit that was making me find these stitches, because I can't tell you where they are. I couldn't see them. So you're just going to do single crochet just like that, and then when we get to a corner, we are going to put 3 single crochets in that corner just to make our square nice and sharp. Okay, that is just what we're doing there. 3 single crochets, then normal single crochets, and then I'm going to see you guys when we're done. Make sure that you use your stitch markers, okay, just so that you remember where row 1 starts, or sorry, row 2 starts, and you don't miss it, because it will look like it's almost the same. So we're just stitching, slip stitch to join the row 2 together, chain 1, and then you're going to cut off your excess yarn, and this is what your square should be looking like. I'm taking off the stitch marker, and then I'm going to tuck in my yarn using my plastic darning needle. I'm just going to tuck it in right away. You can do that right away. You can see the difference between the front and the back. That's the back, and this is the front. Okay, I think when you do it, you can see like the difference of each of the squares clearly. Right, so I'm done tucking in all the yarn, and this is what it's looking like. This is what our square is looking like. So I have got 2 already done. I need 6 more. So we need a total of 8 squares made in the same pattern that we've just done. A total of 8 squares, people. 8 squares. So I've done 2. I'm left to do 6. Okay, that's just what I'm explaining. We need 8 squares with fur or fleece yarn around it. Now, this is me giving you another option. If you can't find the squares with the holes drilled on it, go to your local shoemaker, or any place that sells leather watches and shoes and whatnot. Find firm leather, ask them to give you firm leather, then you do the puncturing of the holes yourself. That's just an option. That's a very nice leather thingy that I got. I'm going to make a bag with it, so if you're looking forward to that, let me know. I'm really excited to make a bag with that one in particular. So yeah, you can just find like something to punch the holes yourself. You can use a drill, you can use one of those crimping tools that form holes. Yep, that's all. That's it. So we have our 8 squares finished, and now we're just going to do our zip, and we want our zip to basically be the same. The width of the zip should be the same as the squares, because the top part of the zip is supposed to be equal to like the base of our bag. So I'm just starting the same way that I started with the squares. Slip stitch, I beg your pardon, slip stitch, then sorry, yeah, you do a what was that? You are just going to do a loop, then pull it through, then you're going to do single crochet, 2 single crochet at the start, then when you single crochet all through the end, when you get to a corner, you do 3 single crochets in that corner, do a couple single crochets, then when you go to the next corner, do 3 single crochets into that corner, then into the next stitches you just do single crochets. Basically doing the zip is basically the same thing as doing the squares. My zip in particular, it was a bit on the longer side, which I did not like. I did not like a lot of things about this project. The pinks were not pinking. There were different variations of pink. I hated it. I just had to make it work. I have an entire vlog of the behind the scenes of me doing this bag, and you could feel my frustration through the screen. I got all of these online, and I did not like the way they came out. It's basically one of the situations where you get what you ordered versus what you get. I ordered for everything to be a dark pink, and everything came in like 4 different versions of pink, and I was like, oh my god, I want to make this bag so bad, but I don't like. I could already tell that I would have hated the way it would have turned out. So I just had to make it work and cover everything with the fleece yarn. Okay, so I went ahead and did the same 2 rows for the zipper, the same way that I did the squares. So this is what a zipper is looking like, and these are our squares. So I'm just going to join the squares using the sewing method. I'm just going to stitch them together, So I'm just pulling the yarn through, then push it through again, and then I'm just creating some sort of knot to hold it in place. And still, depending on hopes, dreams, feelings, and the Holy Spirit, I am just going to try to match the stitches that I cannot see to each other, just to make sure that it is nice and straight and everything is aligned. Okay. um yeah, it is going to be hard to see the stitches. This is even worse than working with black yarn. Okay, fur yarn, I've just believed that working with fur yarn is worse than working with black yarn, because you literally can't see it. Fur yarn, fleece yarn, all of these yarns, they are crazy. They look nice and all, but you literally can't see nothing. Okay, so yeah, I'm just sewing back and forth. I'm going from the front to the back and I'm just pulling it through. Front to, if you ask me how many stitches are on this thing, I have no answer for you. I have no idea, unless you go back and count from the beginning. Right, so when you get to the end, you're just going to go ahead and join what would have been like the middle stitches from both of the squares, and you're just going to try your best to knot everything so that it stays in place. And then you're basically done. Just securing everything. You're done with joining two of the squares together. Then you're just going to tuck in your yarn. Try to tuck in on the wrong side at least. Tuck in your yarn, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Now we need to join 6 of the squares together. So I've joined 2. You're going to join 3, 4, 5, and 6 on a straight line like this. And when you're done joining all those 6, I'm going to show you what to do next, which is taking whatever is left of the 2, that's the 2 squares that are left. You're going to join those 2 squares together, and the 2 squares are going to be our base. That's it. And the 6 squares that we've joined are the sides and the corner. Okay, so we're just making like a very long panel. Then we're going to join everything together, and it's going to give us the sides at the front and the corners on the side of the bag. So I'm going to use the same method of joining to join the 6 sides together, and then I'm going to meet you back. Right, when you're done joining everything together, we're going to join the base of the bag to the main body next. I decided to use single crochet to join, and I felt like since it was the bottom, single crochet is going to give it more structure. And this is where I introduced my 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, because I felt like it was bigger and it would be easier to crochet. I tried using like the 3.5 like you saw, and it just felt too tiny and not necessary anymore. So I'm just using hopes, dreams, and the Holy Spirit again to find the matching stitches, which I'm sure we're definitely not matching, but at this point nobody can see what I'm doing anyway. Even I can see what I'm doing anyway. So I just tried to match them by length and eyeballing, to make sure that everything comes out nice and straight. So I am single crocheting on the right side, by the way. This is the right side, not the wrong side. I'm crocheting from the outside, single crocheting from the outside. I just felt I was going to give it more structure. So just single crochet every single part, and I'm just going to let you guys watch. Right, so when you're done single crocheting where you started, you're just going to slip stitch. Hopefully you can see that stitch, and then chain 1 and cut off all your excess yarn. And this is what we have, and we're going to move on to the next step. Now y'all, this step, it was the zipper. I was attaching the zipper to the back. I would say you attach like the 4 pink, those back tags first before you attach the zipper, but I did the zipper before the back tags. But take it from me, it will be easier to see like your stitches, and you're sewing the back, handle tags. Sewing them to the back will be easier to see them while the top or the zipper is not attached yet. Okay, so go and watch how to attach the back tags first if you can, then come back and watch how to attach the zipper. But I did struggle a bit, but it wasn't that bad. If you want to attach the zipper or just follow the same steps I did, that's fine as well. So I'm just giving you like easier options. Okay, so I decided to use single crochet again as well to attach the zipper to this bag. Now let me just say, this is the same single crochet stitch that I used to attach on the bottom. You do like a slip knot and then you pull it through, then you single crochet everything. Let me say this, my leather zipper was longer than my bag, which is why it's coming out the way it is. I actually did like the way it was coming out, but there would have been that opening at the corners that would literally make it make no sense, because stuff will still come out. So I still had to sort of close it. I really liked the way it looked. You're going to see like the comparison in a bit. So I did one side of the bag, attach one side of the zipper, and then I cut off my yarn because I intended to leave it like that flap of the zipper just flapping outside. And then I was telling myself, oh, I'm going to figure out then how to close up that part so that it doesn't come out. But I didn't find any other way, so I had to close that opening with a zipper. I'm just going to show you guys what I mean. So this is me single crocheting the second side, okay? And I saw that I could not leave that corner opened like that. I saw that I could not leave it open. So I just thought that, oh, let me fold it in. And let me be honest, I did not like the way the folding went. I did not like it. So what I did was I pulled my yarn out of the loop, kept my crochet hook out of the way, put my darning needle in, and I sewed everything to close that loop. I would have really preferred to find a different way to preserve that flap at the side, because I felt like it just felt so cute to have that fur flap hang around, but I needed to find a way to cover it up. But my mind couldn't think of any other way. Okay, it still turned out fine, but that's just what I would have preferred. So this is me just sewing everything together. At some point, since the flap was clearly longer than the bag, I had to sew a couple stitches in the same place on the bag and in different places on that flap. Okay, just so that everything the flap enters. And I feel like this made the bag to bulge a bit. It didn't give it that structure that I really wanted, but when you put stuff in, it just forms the shape, which is how bags are. Bags come twisted and you just need to fill it with stuff to make it have structure. I wanted it to have structure right away, but I couldn't achieve that because I had to fold that flap, which made me very angry. Yes, but so yeah, if you do watch the behind the scenes vlog on my channel, which is called Diary of a Multi Niche, you are going to see like the frustrations that I went through designing this bag in my head, because it's like a whole behind the scenes design process. And yeah, I was frustrated. It took me hours to figure out the right thing to do, and you could see the eureka moments in that vlog, so you can check it out. Just go to the channel Diary of a Multi Niche. I'll leave the link in the description box, and this video is going to be in collaboration with that channel. You're going to see that collaboration of two channels under this video, and that's because the vlog is going to be on that channel while the tutorial is going to be on this channel, just so you know. So I just sewed everything for that flap, and this is how it turned out. As you can see, it's bulging a bit, but if you look at this other side, on the left side, look at how that flap looks very nice just hanging there. But I just needed to cover it up. I needed to cover it up. Oh, cover it up. I can't speak English. So yeah, I just covered up both sides, and that's what it was looking like. And yeah, this is the 4 bag tags I was talking about, that I was saying that you should do before you attach the zipper. Yeah, so attach these before you do the zipper. That's what I was saying. These bag tags, attach these. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe. Turn on your notification bell, because I'm going to be dropping more tutorials often, as much as I can, especially summer related tutorials. I know this bag is given like winter, but I felt like it was given, I don't know, like bougie summer in a way. I mean, it is raining a lot in the UK in this summer, so I'm not sure what weather we're in. Does anybody know? Okay, let me stop shouting. So I just found the spot where I wanted the tags to be, and then I used pins to hold them in place. The first time I tried using pins, they weren't going through, which is why I started using like a pen to mark it. It's fine if you use a pen; you can just rub it off, and the pen marker will come off. Please, I'm just going to say that use to attach the tags with the needles. Please do one tag after the other. I attached all four, and all four sides of the needles were piercing me through and through. Now this is one of the things with this bag, yeah. I didn't like the light pink of the tags. Like I said, I ordered a dark pink tag. And so I was just trying to cover up for having like a light pink tag, which is why I decided to use like the fur yarn itself to sew the tag on. It was difficult. Look at me using pliers to try to sew it. So I just created like I just pushed the needle. This time I was using my metal needle from inside to outside, and then I was going through the holes and then back outside, just like that, back and forth, back and forth. It was a bit hard because I am literally passing a thick yarn through tiny holes, but I got used to it anyway, and it did work. Now if all of your bags have like the same color scheme and everything, all the parts of your bag, you don't need to do this. You can use regular sewing thread or shoe mending thread, or they call it twine in some places. You can use that to sew your bags on. I was just doing this to mitigate the level of too much different colors of pink because I just hated it. You need to see my reaction in the vlog. I hated it. Anyway, so I just used the fur yarn back and forth. And yeah, until I got everything sewed down. I feel like I was going to give like recommendations or something. Oh yeah, I did say you can use twine. Yeah, those were the recommendations I was going to say in this part. You can use twine, uh, or even regular yarn to use this. Like I said, I got used to it and it was fine. And I really liked the way the fur looked. I apologize to any member of the leather community, people who use leather. I don't know if this is practical, but I had to do what worked. So I apologize, but this is what worked at the minute. I wasn't sure what else to do. I am sorry. Yeah, that's just what happened. That's what happened. And I really like the way the fur turned out anyway. It may not be practical, but it was practical for me at that time. So yeah, we just had to roll with it. Right, so this is what we are having. And I just, when I was done, I just tied with the yarn that I used to start it. And then yeah, just tied as tight as you can. I did it twice and then cut off the excess. And you're just going to repeat the same thing for the other four sides. So I was just fluffing up. I sewed it tight, but because it is fleece yarn, I could fluff up all those ends, and it just made it so cute. I just felt like that was too nice. Right. So after, if you're done making all four sides of the tags, I don't know why I didn't show it. We're going to go up to the handle. So you're going to start by making a slip knot, and then you are going to chain three, and then you're going to do single crochet into the next two chains. That chain three, the third chain was a turning chain. We're going to do single crochet into the next two chains. Then you're going to chain one, turn your work, and then you're going to do basically 6 rows of single crochets. Like, it's just a very short tube or a short rectangle of made up of 5 to 6 rows of single crochets. I did 5. I don't know why I was saying 6. I did 5 of them, but basically they were to cover the handle. Listen, I don't think anyone can fully understand how I hated the different shades of pink. I started Google searching of like different ways that you could style different pinks in one bag, but I wasn't feeling it. Oh, by the way, when you are starting your beginning chain or your beginning slip knot, leave around 50 centimeters of yarn, just so you can use that to sew. Mine was too short. Do you see that yarn I have, that tail I have? It was too short. Okay, make one longer. If you didn't leave it, that is fine. You can just attach it with the darning needle and an extra yarn. I'm just always trying to look for shortcuts and stuff, honestly. So I did my 5 rows of single crochet, and I made sure that it could cover up that flap right there. And then I just went into the handle of the bag and I started doing single crochet to crochet that to cover the handle. I hated I won't stop saying this. I hated the way all the different colors of pinks, I hated the way they looked, but I like the way it ended up. I like the way it turned out. I like the way all of them turned, like the way I figured it out with the Holy Spirit. It wasn't me, it wasn't me, it was him. He gave me the ideas because it was crazy out there. It was crazy. So I just did like the single crochet. Now while you're doing the single crochet, you can push the single crochet back to be as full on your handle as you want it. That all depends on you. I'm just pushing it back, so you can make your handle to be as thick as you want. I didn't want it too thick. I just wanted it to cover up nicely. And since it's fleece yarn, it doesn't glide or slide easily. So wherever you crochet and stop, that's where it's going to stop as well. So we're just going to single crochet until you cover up the entire handle. And then we're going to do that same triangular flap of 5 rows. So I just chained one and then I went into the last single crochet stitch that I just made, and then I did 2 single crochets. Remember, we did 2 rows at the start, so that is our 1 single crochet, that is the 2 single crochets, that's the second single crochet. Then I'm just going to chain one and I'm just trying to use my fingers to feel for them. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, chain one, turn your work just like that, chain one, turn your work, and then into that previous single crochet do 1 single crochet and another single crochet. So that's 3 rows. So just go ahead and do like 5. Like I said, you can do 6 if yours is like it has like a wider length. So the main aim is just to cover up that fold, that thing that is folded, the leather part that folds into our o-rings. Okay, that's what we're trying to cover up. So I was basically doing everything possible to make this bag a cohesive color. And by the time I was done, that touch of light pink on the bag tag handles, they were actually very nice. It was actually very nice. I didn't mind it, mostly because I covered it in like yarn. Oh yeah. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. When you're cutting your finishing yarn as well, please make it long. Honestly, I don't know what I was thinking. In fact, I know what I was thinking. I was just figuring this out as I was making the tutorial as well. So yeah, that's just how things went. Okay, so this is me with my darning needle. That's when I realized that, oh, I cut this too short. So I was just using the darning needle to sew at least a part of it closed. Then I end up adding extra yarn to sew everything else closed. And I feel like I've been talking a lot in this video, so I'm just going to let you guys watch. It's basically the same sewing method. You sew back and forth. I'm just attaching it to the single crochet, to some of the single crochets from the handle, and then to the 2 rows of flap that I did. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So of course, whatever you've sewn or done on the other side, you're going to do it on the other end, and then you're going to repeat it for the other handle. And this is how both handles look like after we are done with everything. This is how they look like. Oh, so nice and fluffy. I'm so glad at the way this turned out, honestly. So since these are O-rings, we're just going to attach it. Just make sure that the part that you sewed is on the inside of the bag and it's not showing on the outside. So I just attach the O-rings to our bag right there, just like that. That's one side in, and this is the other side right here. And oh my goodness, this was honestly so cute. I like the way this turned out so much. Now, I really want to know you guys' opinion. Is this bag giving summer or is it giving winter? Is it giving winter because of the fur? I don't know if it's the color that is giving summer. I'm not sure. But I'll carry this bag literally anywhere and put literally anything inside if I'm given the chance. Also, I have a question. Do you think that this bag needs a lining? Should I put a lining to it? Is that a tutorial you'd like to see as well? Leave your answers down in the comment section. So this is the measurements of the bag. So the entire height of the bag and the depth came out to be 5 inches. Okay, and then the entire length of the bag, it came out to be 8 inches, I believe. Yeah, just about 8 inches. So that's the measurements of our bag. That's how it came out. It can fit a lot of stuff. I did a little YouTube short on the things that could fit into this bag. You can check it out. And this is me styling it right here. Oh my goodness. Not like styling it, but posing with it. But this bag was just too cute. It's honestly so good, so nice. The color is stunning. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't. Like this video if you did like it. Ask your questions down in the comment section. I believe I'll be coming out with a digital pattern of this bag. If anyone is interested, let me know. Just tell me that if you really want the digital pattern. And yeah, I guess that's it. Share this video to someone who you think might like this sort of bag. And honestly, it came out so stunning. I really like to hear you guys' thoughts, but that's it for this tutorial. I hope it was straightforward. Send me your photos in the YouTube community on here. You can actually send photos when you do make something. Send the photos when you do make this bag in the community. And I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.